Libra. This is just a quick read for you. This will be for the month of February incoming. I was trying to figure out if there was any more positive cards or anything kind of coming through. And this is sort of a positive negative, I would say, for the month of February. Again, for whoever this resonates for, it doesn't have to be your story. You're all on different timelines. So for some of you, this may have already happened. For others, this may still be incoming. But either way, of course, any situation is always how you handle it. If you're emotionally well equipped and you've learned the tools as you've gone through things, this should not be anything of consequence. So I'm just going to get right in here and go through. This is just non-root sort of read, so sorry guys, but just doing it as I have time. So this is going to be the cards that I see here anyway, seems to be in around very successful energy, although it does start off with more of a disruptive kind of energy here. So we are looking at the tower, and of course, that's where there's an immediate change of some sort. Could be a positive change, could be a negative change. But either way, because I'm seeing it followed up with the card of things being, more jealousy, or there's a lot of contention around you in around arguments. It seems like there's almost a rivalry. That means, two of you are sort of going at the same issue with one wanting to be better at something than another, that kind of a competitive feel. So, but either way, I mean, you're still kind of going forward with a situation. There's obviously clearly somebody who is disrupting things that you are in competition with, or they are in competition with you, most likely that. But either way, the tower is leading to some element of disruption. So this is going to be a structure where there's going to be a bit of a sudden unexpected change in the month of February. And it's just a bit of a wake up call. So it's just something to draw to your attention. Hello, Metamorphosis. Nice to see you. Hope you guys are doing well. So anyway, I mean, with the tower, I mean, it definitely leads to that element of being ready for something. So I don't always see a tower as everything crumbling down. It seems to be more of a surprise element that kind of takes you by surprise that somebody's made a decision, or that somebody did something that, would have been not something you would have anticipated that they would have done, things like that. And that's to me what this feels like, because it's immediately in around some element of struggle or an argument. So there is something here that is to be bared through. But not only that, there is a lot of elements of um, there being some challenges around whatever this information was that comes through, because the Eight of Swords is feeling, stuck, trapped, locked down in some way. But there is going to be some kind of a communication that sort of sets you free in the month of February and sort of brings things to light so that you can move forward. And of course, it does end up with the Chariot card, which is a card of moving forward in a coupleship or in a pairing, or there's some kind of a decision, some kind of a direction that's chosen. Some of you, this could even indicate there's an element of travel in here. So if there was a discussion of travel or something like that, maybe that is what kind of creates an issue here. But either way, there is something here that kind of speaks to um, not just a discussion around it, but something that's quite kind of a heated discussion with some sharp words. And clearly, there's going to be some hurt feelings with this, because there's a lot of swords in this reading. So the clarifiers we'll get to, and I did put quite a few with the Tower card because it just seemed a little ambiguous to me, whether it was around another person or something that comes to light around finances or whatever. But we'll get into that here in a minute. So we'll just go back to where we are with the Tower. Something sudden coming in the month of February that kind of surprises you. I wouldn't say in a subtle way. It seems to be something that's going to give you a feeling of, oh my God, now what? So it is going to impact you in some way. I don't really see a lot in terms of the finances being affected here, but it definitely feels like there is something around I don't know if there's a disconnection here or not, but or a discussion of travel or something like that. But either way, it does end up on a positive note. So we'll just kind of leave it with that, and we'll go forward. Okay, sorry guys. So again, there's something here that does kind of speak to. I don't want to say life-changing news, and yet it could be. Like, it's something that's really important news that is surprising, and it doesn't feel good at first to get this information, but somehow it turns around because you've got a lot of fear or a lot of worry around the situation. This is impacting you. This is how you feel. This is not necessarily how, um, how it results, obviously, because it does have a positive outcome. But I feel whatever this news is that comes in with the tower, it does indicate it's a sudden obstacle around a shared goal. The two of you are sort of battling on what is the right thing to do in this situation. Clearly, somebody has done something, I would say, that's kind of gone against your grain or gone forward to do something that you weren't prepared for. So it's something like that. But either way, again, this is kind of a learning moment, and I'll tell you why when we go through. So again, you get to the point where you feel trapped or stuck by this new information. But again, that's your own interpretation of the event. It has nothing to do with what your actual choices are. I feel like you're not actually trapped here because a lot of the cards speak to there's an opportunity, there's an option. So this is you playing victim or somebody else playing victim, or you're both feeling like you're in kind of a lockdown situation, but there's dissatisfaction overall with whatever this news is that comes in initially. So I feel like it's somebody that comes in, gives you a little bit of, a bit of a scare, and then you feel trapped and uncertain over a situation. But again, things go forward and there is a resolve. So there is something again, beginning of February, I suspect, where you weren't feeling or that you're not feeling like you're in control of. So this also does indicate with that Four of Cups that there could be, a period of, oh my God. Normally it can be apathy, it can be, just feeling sad, disappointed in something, but I do feel like this is not you. I'm trying to figure out if this is related around a goal, but see, I keep getting a feeling that this is more to do with a connection because it does end up with a clarifier over here with that Two of Cups. But when we go back into the Four of Cups, like I said, I mean, this is definitely speaking to a lot of areas of not feeling that your needs have been met or your choices haven't resulted in a lot of positive change. Okay, so going back to the Tower. So again, Tower with that Five of Wands definitely indicates there's some kind of a jealousy. And again, it still feels like there's some kind of an emotional situation here. I feel like it is going forward. There's a battle of sorts, but again, there is still a lot of cards of back and forth again. So it's almost like, it's an unresolved issue that just keeps resurfacing, is kind of to me what it feels like. The Knight of Cups for sure is an indicator that there is some kind of an offer here. Knight could be representative of somebody who's in their 20s, 30s. Um, but again, this is still something that is going forward. Somebody is coming in to, provide you with another, you know, sense of reconnecting, although it's a very jealous sort of feeling. It just feels as though this is a situation that doesn't ever really resolve. It feels like it just is constantly. But I will say this. I mean, I don't want to, be too dismal about the whole of it because the Knight of Cups in itself does indicate that the focus is on emotion. So whatever the battle is, it's a very emotional situation. I do feel like there is something that kind of stirs within you here that you end up taking a position of stepping back. It's almost like you step back to kind of reassess the situation and approach it, in an intuitive sort of way. Verbally, there may be a lot of communication that's pretty harsh words or something that's not very favorable, obviously, but I feel overall the connection is still you have the upper hand in whatever this situation is. Again, we've got the Seven of Wands. Really, it's a kind of a heated situation. Like I said, the sevens do indicate that there is a lot of options here, but and you are sort of winning over the battles that are at hand right now. But Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, guys. I don't know if this is actually working, but if somebody can let me know. Oh, now you can hear me? Oh, excellent. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. All right. I don't know how much you actually heard, so I don't know. I hate to repeat myself, but okay, I guess I'll go back real quick and just do a condensed version of things. So again, tower moment, something is coming in here in the beginning of February that's going to throw you off. It will be something that you are going to struggle with because it's like it's information and somebody has kind of told you something that maybe they've gone ahead and done without your consultation, something like that, or there is just like a straight jealous moment here. But either way, there's something that comes in and it's like it just strikes you and it makes you feel like you're trapped. It makes you feel stuck. It does feel like you're in a situation, and again, that's a learning moment though, because I'll go through why, because there's a whole bunch of other things here that indicate that this little period of conflict is going to turn around in your favor. So there is something here, like I said, that you are dealing with something from the past. I'll get to that. Feels like water signs still present. A lot of water signs information coming in here for me. But again, you do feel a little trapped or stuck with whatever this situation is that comes through with the tower moment. So I also feel like you're kind of feeling like you're a victim in a situation. So not only are you feeling a victim, but it also kind of puts you in a situation where you don't feel like you have any options. You're really disappointed with how something is turning out. This is where you're feeling like you kind of left where you left off. And what I see here is not that at all. I feel like there's a lot of forward movement. I'm not saying it's not coming at a bit of a price, and sure, there is definitely some kind of wounding that goes with it. But whatever this frustration or this period in the beginning of February is, it does feel like you will be able to you will take charge of your life again, and with a real strong focus. Really strong focus, actually, is what I see here. It's almost like you let something happen, maybe gave it too much leverage, and then all of a sudden you're like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing that. I'm moving it into this particular direction ASAP. But I'll go through a lot of the clarifiers here as well. So again, even when we're talking about the Five of Wands, that is an indicator. There's a lot of wands here and there's a lot of swords. So it feels like it is for sure a bit of a battle that's going on. You're holding your own though. I won't say that you're in any losing position. All the cards sort of reflect to me that you almost have, it's a learning moment, like I said, because a lot of the cards indicate to me that you have learned something, a lesson from previous, and now you're using that knowledge in this particular situation. So it does feel like it is kind of relationship oriented here, but it could very well be in around career. But for the most part, it's a strong connection to somebody. Absolutely. Um, Again, with that five, it does indicate that there is a certain amount of uncertainty because there's an adjustment that is needing to take place because the tower is here as well. With that Five of Wands, again, it is still an indicator that you are in a position where there's somebody's competing with you in some level. So you're both sort of vying for the same scenario, going after the same job, for example, or getting a car and somebody, is battling over their car is better than your car or whatever it might be. But there is some certainty or uncertainty in that situation where somebody is trying to steer you in a certain direction, but you're holding your ground. So like I said, I feel like you kind of get taken off guard a little bit and there's sort of a trigger point here. But I don't feel like you should put a lot of energy and time and stress or worry over it because overall, you've learned, this is again that learning moment. You've actually learned something of a situation here and you know how to handle it better, differently than you have before. So don't give it a lot of time and attention for whatever this battle is or this uphill situation. Because really it's somebody else that's feeling threatened by you in some way. It's not for you. It's a projection. It's not for you to have to handle. You just need to manage your own feelings. You can't manage somebody else's feelings, but it's nonetheless is still a challenge that you have to overcome. Something is in your way and you have to figure out a way to move the obstacle. So either way, what I'm seeing here again is, you're not being overpowered, so don't feel afraid to go forward with the decision, that you make in this period, because I do feel like you have the upper hand. Like I said, it does move into the Seven of Wands, which does put you at an advantageous position. And again, the Knight of Cups indicates to me that this is dealing with somebody on an emotional basis. So somebody could be in their 20s and 30s that you're having this tower moment with, you know, but it's still in around that feeling of, you know, they're, how do I say? Because like I say, the Knight is somebody that is not really 100% sure of themselves in a situation. I would say this is somebody that is, it's a rapid development, you know, a rapid conclusion to an emotional situation. So that's why I say the focus is definitely on emotion, but it's almost like you're approaching it from maybe you're approaching it in a new way emotionally, because I don't feel like this is something you haven't gone through before. It just feels like you're in a situation where it just feels like you're dealing with it in a new way. That's all I can say there. Because like I say, as well, with that Knight of Cups, that's still the energy of being a little bit flirty. So I would say if this is you with someone else, or someone else that's the flirty person, I feel like you know how to handle this situation. It is also, if we're talking about a career situation, and again, for some of you it is, if it is a career situation, I would just say that this is something that you're very passionate about, that you were disappointed in, something threw you off guard, and definitely feels like you have to recreate the experience in some way. Again, there's still a lot of energy here that's more air, fluid sort of energy. So to me, this is going to move by quickly. We also have that Nine of Wands. So we also have the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Swords. So the Nine of Wands is like, I mean, usually it can be a situation where you've persevered for a long time, and you're almost in the last stretch of something. You're almost done in terms of finances. I mean, this could be something this difficult situation. Again, some of you have already gone through this tower moment. So something is completed, and now you're in the cycle of kind of renewing it. There's still a residual of it, though, because the tower is still here. So I would say that it's rapid recovery from a situation, though, whatever that is for you. So because it's quick information that comes in here with the Knight of Swords, and there's also, you know, just a lot of air sword energy. So to me, this is just, it's in and out. So the Nine of Wands just tells you persevere, because it's not going to last that long. You know, you have the upper hand in a lot of the cards here, as I said, because I feel like you have the skill set to deal with it. It does end on the tower, so there's nothing here that you can't overpower. There might be, again, a situation where emotionally something has just been pushed to the max, you know, pushed as far as it can possibly go, or it's just before that situation. But either way, I feel like whatever this setback is, just push through and endure, because it is going to turn around to your favor. And it does require your persistence. It does require you to be a little more resilient in this situation. Again, dealing with something from the past. Could be child energy here as well, but I mean, the Six of Cups usually does indicate that this is dealing with a passion project from the past, dealing with a person from the past, dealing with an old idea from the past, you know, however that resonates for you. But it definitely, and again, could be children here as well, but it definitely still speaks to, you know, things kind of righting itself in some way, because the Six is all about the balance, and we also have cards over here that indicate that there's more balance with the Two of Cups and the Chariot. So fear not, things will turn around. And again, even with the Six of Cups, I mean, that's going to be a situation where, you know, so I did see that a Knight of Cups in there too. So it's almost like somebody is trying to reach out, I feel, to try to resolve the situation. So something became unsettling, but then all of a sudden there's communication that's trying to open it up to create more of a happier scenario there. Could very well be an apology of some sort here as well, but for the most part, I just feel like somebody is kind of reaching back in again to rekindle something, or revive something, or, you know, just show some sense of understanding. So It's not quite, again, it just feels like it's something pretty big, though, initially with that tower that kind of gets in the way. But we also have conclusive cards again. So 9 to the 10 of Wands. This is over. Like whatever the situation is, the battle was, I feels like this is kind of the last of those types of battles. I'm not saying there will never, ever be another battle, but the type of battle that that seems to be continually showing up here, the fact that it is just further out with the 10 of Wands means it is just about over, because the 10 is a transition into a new cycle. So there's a completion, and there's not only just this card that indicates that, but there's also the World card that shows up in here as well. So like I said, the 10 of Wands, this is just about over. If not in February, it will be soon after. And I'm not saying necessarily relationship is entirely over, that's your choice, but I would still say that the options are yours because you have the upper hand in the situation. But 10 of Wands is definitely setting some strong boundaries. This is learning moments. You've already done it all before, and you know how to carry on and get through these difficulties, because like I say, 10 of Wands in the Tower, that is difficulty with a bit of a sudden crisis, but it gets figured out, it gets resolved. So because there's some new information that comes through that pulls it all together again. So then we have, I see again, there's quite a few cards here that also speak to you being center to this difficulty. So, but it also indicates that there's a lot of strategizing going on with the King of Swords. That's a Libra energy for sure. So, I mean, there's a lot of energy around um, dealing with a lot of people here. And again, like coupleship, very strong, very important in this read. But also with that King of Swords, that to me is you being kind of on top of your game, really having a strong understanding of what's happening, sort of seeing it from all angles. So you're not really compromising, you're actually strategizing. You're looking at all the different elements to whatever it is you need to fix. And then you realize the way, you realize the path. So for a moment here, you're shocked. You're like, oh my God, what can I do? Because the situation has kind of thrown me off guard. But the King of Swords is the one that is considered the diplomat. It is the person who's considered justice. It is somebody who is considered to be the warrior, you know, the person who's got the education and the wisdom behind them. So, you know, that is a position of authority. So there is something here that speaks to being emotionally detached to heal or fix a situation. I would say this is a lot of structure or information routine, that kind of thing that's required to fix the scenario. And again, there's a lot of detached emotion. There is heated, you know, words, that kind of thing. But the detached emotion, I would say, is if somebody's offering you an emotional cup of whatever is filled in the cup, you know, I mean, if they're trying to offer you an apology or trying to offer you some sense of recommunication, reinvestment in them, whatever it is, to me, this feels as though, and again, it's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with this card, to me, it feels as though you're going to think about it critically and then decide. I don't feel like you're jumping in, you know, with all forgiveness and embracing the scenario. It does not feel like that at all. I feel like there's a strong emotion and then there is no emotion, or at least it's very reined back. I feel like, again, even in terms of finances, you know, whatever situation blocks you, you're going through it in more of a straightforward way, not looking back, not going to be blocked again. You know, this is you trying to be very productive, and there is a bit of a pause in your, so it's a productive pause, and it's you thinking things out without doing the overreaction for too long. So it's like you overreact and then you pull it all in, and then all of a sudden you are ready to, you know, alter the scenario. You're not going to go through this again with, and that could be a Scorpio energy here with the Death card, but again, really significant cards. Not the main cards out. The main cards out again were the Tower and the Chariot. So very significant win, I would say, for this month. But it does take you off guard. It's something that you were not expecting. So whatever the transition is, it feels like it's been a significant end to a very harsh period. This could be a transition that's been going on for some time here that's been significant, but with the Death card, you're putting it behind you and you're kind of moving through the things that scare you, really taking on those obstacles with a win-win attitude, or even an attitude of win or lose. This is the direction I have to take because goes in line with my values, that kind of thing. So, you know, you'll pick up the pieces, I guess, as things go through, but for the most part, I feel it's a win. Again, a lot of harsh words are things that could be, you know, leaving a residual, but either way, Scorpio energy, as I said, it still feels like you're seeing the truth in a situation and really dealing with it head on. So I feel like you are moving into a very strong, deeper understanding of yourself. I feel like there is a very strong awareness of who you are in this month. These are not superficial changes. These are things that are going to help you to improve your situation overall, because you're taking the approach not to avoid or bury, you know, pain or whatever the situations or obstacles are. You see it for what it is and either accept it and move it off into a different direction. But the transformation is really within you. I still feel like you have quite a bit here to do as far as, you know, maybe changing your, like going through your own life, because they're further out, because the card is the Seven of Pentacles. But I want to just kind of go back here and just sort of wrap that part of it up. Overall, like a Death card, as I said, is where you might feel a little bit stuck in a rut emotionally. And so it's causing you to pull back emotionally and contain yourself in some way. So you're forced to make a difficult decision to be able to move on, but that's because you've transformed. So you're releasing a scenario of how you thought it used to be, and now you're accepting it, or at least altering it in a way that you can allow yourself to move forward. And like I said, there's just so many cards here of you being the center point here, like the central focus. Queen of Swords still coming up with Libra energy. So it definitely does feel like you are just really dealing with your life in a whole different, you know, whole other light. Queen of Swords, that's definitely mature energy in both areas here. So Queen of Swords is definitely dealing with things in a very straightforward way. Like I said, I don't feel like you're in a situation where you are unsure of yourself here by any stretch. But either way, like I said, Queen of Swords, you're dealing with things from that logical viewpoint, and there's a lot of information that you're having to kind of mull over. So whatever these truths are that come to light here, I just feel like these are going to help you to reject the things that you don't feel you can allow into your life any longer. So I feel like this is going to end up being a rich period for you, either moving a relationship to another level or cutting it all out altogether. Doesn't mean you don't ever talk to this person again, or people again, but it does indicate that there is going to be something where you are focused on you and your own balance at this time. So many cards of balance here. So I almost feel like, and the degree of energy around I'm taking charge of my life is very strong in this reading. So I would definitely say that you're relying very strongly on your spiritual balance. You're really balancing all of it out. You're a problem solver this month. You know, whatever the blunt news is that comes in, you're a problem solver in this month. You are the one that is coming to your own rescue, or coming to the rescue of a situation that requires your intervention. So either way, again, this could be a court situation, but I don't know, that's not really primary. Definitely feels like it's more along happy family. So it does feel like it's around family situation, actually. This is more, or people that you consider to be family. They're very close to you. Ten of Cups definitely speaks to resolving the situation. So again, whatever the Tower moment is, it's like you come to the rescue, you come up with the answer, you come up with the, you know, the visualization of how to be creative and resolve a scenario. It's your vision, your personal growth that is helping to resolve this. And I feel like, you know, that is the synchronicity. That is the thing that allows for everything to fall into place, because you're committed to this. You're committed to resolving this situation, this relationship, this family dynamic. You're trying to create security. You're trying to expand things. Yeah, there's a lot of feeling of being safe and protected in that energy. So there's something vastly improved. And there's your new start. So again, these are further out, but whatever the situation is, something in the beginning of February is where you have to kind of pull through to find this new start. Ace of Wands definitely is that vision of, you know, being enterprising and expanding something. There's growth in a scenario, there's definitely an idea that comes through here where you're going to be able to fix the situation. Again, could be a career path or something for some of you, but either way, Aries is also present. Taurus, Emperor, taking control of your life, taking control of the, with the idea, moving things ahead. And there's your card of expansion. So the Three of Wands, definitely you've opened up a doorway. And this isn't just something that is creaking into the Two of Wands. This is already at the Three of Wands. So Three of Wands means you're already there. This is something that is not just through the door, but it's actually, you're able to expand it and refine the plan. So this is where you actually have some real achievement in that goal. So, like I said, this is a really good, promising read. Because the Three of Wands does indicate there's some planning that's gone into this. There is a bigger picture at hand, definitely more long-term. And with the Ten of Cups does indicate long-term to me as well. But I feel like this is something that you've been waiting on and something that's helped to correct. You know, you've corrected it. You're the one that came up with the idea here to balance it all out. So either way, excellent cards. And of course, we also have the gift coming in from the universe, and that is the Ace of Cups. So again, these cards are a little bit further out, but Ace of Cups, excellent card as well. Like you've got some, for some of you, this could be a new job or something like that, but to me, it doesn't, it feels less like that. I'm not saying there's only one dimension to this, could be layers really, but because it's not, it's more of a general read. But with the Three of Wands, I feel like something has expanded. So something that you were expecting just to be, you know, a doorway, it's almost like there's two or three different things here, almost three really, good things that kind of come out in the month of February. So despite the rocky start there, I would say you've stabilized it somehow. You've created a happy situation out of the out of whatever the gifts were, or whatever the things that were coming in, the news, the information, because there is that coming in here as well. And that seems to be the thing that helps to up level something here. So it's, again, an opportunity for you to take advantage of. As an idea that's led to an opportunity that's also bringing about some kind of information. And this could be contractual as well. So there's our Justice card. I couldn't remember what was in there. But it could be something that was in around a court situation for some of you, or contractual, but you are all over this read. So you are the powerhouse in February. You are the one that is resolving the situation. You are you're the key to all of this in the month of February. So the Justice card tells me that everything has been balanced and will bring about, again, some of you, this might resonate a little further out into March, but either way, there's harmony. There's just harmony and balance from something that you have resolved that could have been around a legal situation, whether this was a legal judgment or whether this was a legal, you know, separation or divorce or marriage or something that you were having to manage. Somehow you are the key that's created the balance. You found something. You found something, you got an idea that led to a gift from the universe, which has led to information, further information that's communicated to you that things have righted itself. We also have the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is that card where it's kind of in and out, sort of flirty energy as well. And of course we had a couple of nights, so there's communication all over the place here. So it's like you're either putting out the calls, putting out the, you know, and things have disappointed you in one sense, but then all of a sudden something else comes through for you. So you're disappointed in one area, and then all of a sudden something comes in again. So it's that kind of a feel. And especially with the night, and again, this is a little further out, so I don't feel that travel is necessarily in the month of February, but for some of you, there is something around travel that is significant here. So again, you're getting on with things either way, and really making some plans here, because there is planning. There is planning for sure. There is definitely following things in a really, how do I say, because this normally would be a card that's a little more risk-taking, but it's also could be dealing with a charismatic person as well. But either way, it's moving that energy ahead so that things actually do, you know, whatever you're pursuing here, you're following the rules, you're following things in the biding your time, you're doing things the right way. Like I said, because there's so many cards of balance here. So you're stepping into who you are. There's a lot of confidence here, a lot of enthusiasm to kind of get things moving. So we'll go back into this one now. I don't have as many clarifiers because that was just for the Tower. But the Eight of Swords, of course, again, is you just feeling a little bit more trapped, stuck in a situation. That was just when you first learned of the information here. So there is that period of frustration because you're like, oh my God, how do I resolve this situation? But I feel like you do seek a new experience or a new situation or a new resolve through something new that's coming in. Like I said, I feel like you have an idea that you put out there and all of a sudden it creates a gift or a blessing that comes in to fix it, and then you get more communication information following up. There is something here too that, like I said, you were disappointed in whatever it is you initially hear, but you do resolve it. You find an answer. And there is something here about a celebration with the Three of Cups. So I also feel like this is something that kind of speaks to you having an opportunity to, because normally, again, the threes are all about growth, abundance, all of that. And I feel like it's some kind of initial achievement of a goal. And if you notice, it's really happening pretty quick. Air and sword energy, that's primarily what this reading's all about. So everything is happening pretty quick. And again, with that Three of Cups energy, that is even more of an indicator, especially because it's so close to the Tower, that it was a quick win. So with that, I feel like you're happy with the results of whatever happened here. Could have involved a group interaction or something like that. But either way, you're celebrating, and you're celebrating with others around you as well. So there's some really positive information there. Like I said, don't be alarmed. Something is coming in the early part of February that will kind of throw you off, but then all of a sudden everything rights itself. And again, it's you who is the center focus in a really strong way in your reading for this period for this month. And I really feel that that's because you're feeling a lot more confident in your, connection to yourself and your just who you are in this time anyway. I just feel like you are feeling a lot more able to take initiative, able to control your emotions, able to think things out differently, react to things differently, you express yourself differently, in the ways that will balance things. So it's that kind of energy because there's so much information here that comes in that you immediately act on, and that creates momentum. Ace of Pentacles, it's something grounded. Like I said, I feel like there's three different things coming in for you this month that is really, and it could be just a token of money that's coming in as well, but something about money that comes in that kind of helps the situation. But it's through an idea that you're actually able to get a little bit of play here with this new start, this new beginning. Like it's a lucrative thing that's going to be coming in. And it's with that 10 of Cups, I feel like you're really connected to whatever this is. Ace of Pentacles, like I said, this is where you actually have a process to go through. So there's a lot of planning still required here. But overall, there's about three different things here I feel that are coming in that, like there's an idea, then there's something that comes in to help. And then you've got, like it's a gift, a blessing. And then we've also got some other impact that comes in with an extra bit of money. And then you've also got a victory. And then there's also a scenario here where information is communicated that you did win, or that there was, something that's helping you to move in a particular direction. So either way, really positive rewards here. And the timing seems to be pretty good for initiating whatever these plans are that you have sort of incubating. Again, some of this could be a new raise, or it could be a raise, new job, something like that could be a part of it. However it speaks to you, it's going to resonate to you all differently. Again, you're all on different timelines, so in 1 week you're not all making the same decisions, but certainly it's going to layer out and have some impact. But either way, all I'm going to say is in the month of February, everything is definitely improving for you, offsetting that initial negative kind of news that came in that kind of threw you for a loop. So we also have the card of the King of Cups. Definitely, again, water sign, really strong in this read. Lots of mature energy, could be dealing with older people here as well. And again, 20s, 30s for the other. But King of Cups is somebody who's quite aware of who they are. You know, this is somebody who's quite emotionally, I don't want to say content, but like somebody who's really got it together emotionally. They know how to control their emotions. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio could also be relevant here as well. But this is somebody who definitely has the ability to control their emotions. And that could be where some of the money is coming in from, is this person. Something along that line. And again, there's a lot around. There is a child that's also present here, and there is definitely home and family was relevant here as well. But I want to say, because we have the final card out with the World, I mean, this is definitely a conclusion card. So something has full on finished up. A cycle is ended. A cycle is ended for sure with that card, with the World. So whatever the hardships were with a particular person, water sign seems to be, as I said, very relevant here. I feel like this is now moving into another level. So either you've got boundaries around this person and things are, communication's limited, or if at all, or this is that other side of the scenario where you've leveled the situation up now. So this is now, there's not going to be any strong repeats of all the tumultuousness of the past. It's almost like you've self-actualized, someone else has kind of come to, an understanding, however that resonates. But the World card is when all the journey of the Fool up until the end has completed, and that's where things are at. So the transformation card has already shown itself. So this conclusion is now moving into a whole other area of your life. Everything you needed to be taught is pretty much in this period anyway, for this particular situation's been taught. So you've learned the lesson, you know how to deal with the scenarios. Not to say you're not going to be facing those things again. What it means is whatever the scenarios are, you now have the information to guide you. So again, the world's opening up to you differently. There's a lot of success here. I still feel travel all over the place, but again, it's further out because these are just clarifiers. But whatever you set out to accomplish, you've accomplished, or you are accomplishing. Everything is pretty much kind of set in stone here, that it's inevitable. The other part of things too, because we have the follow-up card as the High Priestess, there's still an unknown element here. The High Priestess does have all of the other elements, earth, wind, fire, all of that. And this also cycles down to that same thing of end of a journey. So many cards of completion and transitioning away from, difficult times, difficult waters. So this is where things are headed. It feels like February is the turning point that now lets you see that you're moving toward greater happiness. So it's the end of a difficult phase of a relationship, difficult phase of, I would say mostly relationships specifically. So if it was impacting you on more than one layer or level, this is where it starts. So it's not to say that you won't have success with the finances and all of that, but right now, because I do see that card further out, but it seems like it's happening with your relationships first. Because, like I said, there's so much difficulty, or there was, from all the battles, that I feel like you can feel much more confident in moving ahead because you are taking a lot of action, and it's almost swift action. Sometimes with the Knight of Swords can be a little bit risky, so that's why I feel like you're slowing it down here. But you definitely have some element of travel that's very strong here, a little further out. And if it is in terms of a relationship, there's kind of that chaser-runner feel. But I feel like you're really strongly focused on and goal-oriented in dealing with whatever it is that you needed to finish up here so that you can get on with your goals. And that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm taking control of my life now. I'm not going to be, hung up on all these emotional things with relationships. I am now going to be focused on myself, my goals, my career. It's that kind of energy. So I just feel like you're in a really confident phase of your life where it's almost like you've got more control, you've got more mastery over yourself, there's more movement because of that. And there's a real strong determination, especially too with that Knight of Swords energy. And there's a lot of balance here. So many cards of balance. Balance within a connection, you know, harmony in the union, or there's at least a little bit more respect that's kind of showing here. I don't know that it's fully reciprocated just yet, but I feel like there's an inkling toward that anyway. But either way, you now have some level of support back here that allows you to achieve some success. And I do feel like you will need to be emotionally balanced in the month of February and you have to be practical to resolve whatever this is. So it does still take inner strength. You have to take a lot of your ambition, a lot of your focus to resolve whatever this situation was. But I feel like that's what's being done. Um, Again, when we get to the Six of Swords, this is kind of leaving all that other stuff behind, you know, calmer waters. It is still cards of balance, triumph over challenges, all of that stuff. So, like I said, there's areas of your life here that seem to be compounding. So right now it seems to be your relationships, I would say, or relationship to business, career, whatever, that seems to be the focus. And it seems like it's turning around in your favor pretty quick. So it went from an immediate, you know, troublesome issue to all of a sudden transition, turning point, you know, situation improves, and then travel up ahead. So pushing you in a whole new direction altogether and very quickly. And of course, with the Chariot here as well, that's also the card that tells you you're on the right path, you're going in the right direction, you're in charge, you're in the driver's seat. There is success at the end of whatever this thing is that you're trying to accomplish. You have a choice of a couple of directions here as well. You have still have some decisions to make, and I feel like you're kind of sitting on some of that with that Seven of Pentacles there. But either way, you're planting the seeds, but you've already had one success, but three different elements that are coming in that have helped you to get to that success in the month of February. But like I said, one success for sure that makes you feel like you're on top of everything again. And it's going to create a lot more momentum for you as well. But again, there's almost a pause between every success here that I see. But absolute, you know, Chariot is absolute success. So I will also say, could be dealing with travel by car with someone else here as well, because the Chariot can represent car. But if there is a trip up ahead, I do feel like it's by water, and I do feel like it could be with car or whatever. But either way, Chariot is definitely moving in the right direction. So we'll just finish up with the final card, Seven of Pentacles. And again, of course, that's still you kind of planting some other additional seeds. It's almost like you got a few different things going on here. There's not one project, it's not one thing. You got three different elements here that are helping you to raise your, raise your amount of, what's the word? Ambition, raising your ambitions to keep things moving forward. So it's like one affects the other, affects the other. It's like a train effect here. But either way, I feel like you're onto something now, and you know, this is where you're actually making some payoff. So Seven of Wands, you still have a little bit of planning here in the works in the month of February, but you have had some kind of success in this month that is allowing you to see that you have something to look forward to. But either way, like I said, everything is looking good. Beginning of the month, like I said, just expect that there will be some kind of something that throws you off that you just weren't expecting. And then somehow you go into power overdrive mode and pull back to figure out your answers. And then it leads to overall family happiness, leads to a new start, new idea, which is coming through, which is going to lead to victory for you. But before that victory, you get the communication or some information that's coming in here. But again, you are changed because the death card of that transition is right next to you. You have transitioned here. You are the one that's the powerhouse in this month. So you're the key, you're the answer for resolving whatever it is this month holds. And like I said, the High Priestess, there's an unknown element that will be further out that you'll have to kind of deal with, but the Hierophant in itself is surrounded by conclusive cards, and it in itself was a conclusive card as well. So you have some very significant energy, big major arcana that you'll be dealing with over this next little bit here. So for this, not this month alone, there's going to be stuff further out. So just plan for that, but very aggressive, or assertive, rather, not aggressive, but assertive energy that says, I'm taking control of my world, I'm taking control of my life. Not leaving it up to other people, because you also had the Emperor in there as well. Emperor is all about structure, and you also had the Justice card, so that's also about structure, adhering to the rules, that kind of thing. But definitely all of it seems to be around maintaining balance. You're really trying to create sense of harmony around you, and putting your plans into action, but I feel it's you feeling a little bit, there's a lot of people in here, but you are the one that's making the decisions to create the resolve. And again, even with the High Priestess and that Lover's card, there could still be something that's hidden in this relationship or in this connection, whether this is a significant relationship, love or family member or friend, but it's a close relationship, and it is somebody from the past, so no, not a new connection, but there is more cooperation in this connection. So I will say that. Um, yeah, I will say that. So again, Cancer sign seems to be pretty relevant here also, because the Chariot card, and again, so much of the water signs. But I just feel like you know how to move things ahead by the end of February, and you will be creating your own destiny here. So keep focused on the month of February. Keep your focus on the things that are important to you, that you want to advance. Life is short, and if you don't start putting things into plan of action, and really structure out what it is that you want, then, as they say, somebody else comes in and eats up your time and puts it to use, instead of you controlling your time, your energy, your effort. And the one thing we don't generally have a lot of is time. We have the same time as everybody else, but at the same token, we also invest ourselves differently in each part of the pie. So again, it's looking at what's most important to you, what can operate on its own for a while, without your overseeing, what are the things that you now have to focus on that you've been neglecting, that are suffering, to maintain the balance. It's asking all those questions. So again, figuring out what's most important to you in this next phase of your life. Anyway, keep moving forward, never give up, and until our next read, I'll do another one for March here in the next little bit, but that's where I'm going to leave it. Stay moving forward. Success.